So welcome back, guys. If you didn't check out the last video, we were basically sketching this thing up. That was step one. I was doing a little tutorial on how to use your spray cans to basically draw a design. In this video, we're going to be touching on filling colors. So there's, a bit of a technique to this to keep it clean, to avoid drips, and to not be intimidated by the process. I got a few different colors here. The two I'm going to be using is green and purple. I love that color scheme. I think it's always fun. First thing I would do in this process is I would start with midtones. These right here are in the middle. I got a brighter variation and a darker variation of the both. But step one is just putting all of your bases in. You shouldn't be fading and adding details and doing all that stuff before you've just put all of your color in flat to begin with. This is a huge mistake I see heaps of people make when they first pick up a spray can is, let's say in this area, under this trippy eye here, they might want to do some type of pattern or something fun, maybe a fade, and they'll just start drawing a pattern in it. But the problem with that is you'll be chasing everything that's underneath it the whole time. So what you want to do is block everything in first. Put your bases down before you start adding your details. The way you want to do this is you want to turn each area into a section and then from then fill it in. Don't just start spraying randomly. So this is what some people might do. They might be like, this I want to be purple, right? And I'll just start going all over the joint like this. As you can see, it's all sort of see-through, and also all of your lines at the end are going to be blurred and it's going to look horrible. What you want to do is go around an area, turn it into a section, be a little bit closer when you're doing that, and then move further away to fill it in. So close to begin with, turn it into a section like this. See that? So it gives me that crisp edge on the outside. So when I'm filling in like this, my can's a little bit further away. And I've had this question asked a few times of how far away. It's sort of hard to say, but if I'm filling, I guess it's here. If I'm sketching, it's as close as I can get it. And I'm just going to fill in the rest. So I got this little eyeball section here as well. Outside first, fill it in. And this is the same process throughout the whole thing. Outside first, fill it in. There we go. Gives you that nice clean edge. It's much quicker. You'll save paint, which is, something that I used to sweat heaps when I was younger. Saving my paint. You don't want to waste it by chasing silly procedures the whole time. So be smart. Do it like this. Also, if you are brand new to spray painting and you want to, take it a little easy and avoid your drips, this is another thing you can do. Let me create a section here. So actually this flows like this and it sort of bends back. If you want to take it easy with your spray painting, don't hold on to it when you're filling. Just take it like mowing the lawn, just one line at a time, like that. You don't have to be in a rush. If you're not out there sort of bombing stuff, you can be a little bit more patient with it. This way you can ensure that your line work gets clean. From here, I'm going to start filling in my greens. Transferred over. This is a brand called Montana 94. It's a great low pressure paint. If you want to learn more about the different brands and the outputs, check out my channel. I might even just chuck it up in the corner here and you can see how it all works. Outsides first, fill it in. I won't bore you by like mowing it like a lawn the whole time, otherwise it's sort of going over the same thing twice. Halloween is coming up for me. Not sure when you're checking the video out, but it's about to be Halloween. So let's make it some green gums. And here's another huge tip. I teach tutorials all the time, working with people like one-on-one. One thing I find probably more than 50% of people do is they sweat this line that's guiding them from one section to the next. They'll want to go like right up to the edge of it to make sure it's crisp the whole time. It doesn't matter because if you're doing a character like this, you're going to outline it at the end. So anything, any like you know, mistakes that are this big will get covered over with that line anyway. So like, don't try to be meticulous the whole time. Like, you know, be clean with your line work, but like this line just here, you can go over it if you want. It doesn't really matter at this stage. So we've got our green in, and obviously we want some white eyes. Outsides first. And this is especially where this whole like outside inside thing helps so much, because if you were just to miss this, you're gonna get overspray everywhere with the white. It's like the worst color to be doing for overspray. Any type of bright tones will completely ruin your painting. It's even doing it a little bit here, but not enough that it really matters. We're gonna cover that with the next things that we're gonna jump into. If I wanna know where this nose is, what I'll do is I'll just paint up to it like this. Hopefully it catches it in the camera, because I only need a tiny bit. Right there, I just got this little vague line on either side. I know where I'm going. I'll do the same thing here, even though I already sort of painted over it. And you can see right there, you got your line. Cut up to it if you need. And then we've got our white teeth. Like I said, straight over it, doesn't matter. Like, don't be so super tedious. Your line at the end is going to be what makes it look nice. This painting at that point, it's going to look very flat, but the next part that we're going to be doing will be all of our fades and our like detailing. And that's really what gives this like a little bit of a 3D type of element. Outsides, insides. You'll also notice when I spray paint, I don't just stand in one spot. I sort of move my body. What you got to picture is it's almost like your hands on a tripod, and it's your body that sort of moves it around like this. That's really what can give you that control. If you're doing small lines, it doesn't matter too much. You might look like a robot trying to copy what I just said. But once you start getting bigger, you really got to move with it. Cool, so we got all of our fill in, just our starting bases. There's actually one thing I forgot, and this is something that can really make your work stand out. I've done this in, you know, murals, like commissioned murals, where it's legitimate pieces that, you know, is a couple days. Or you can do it on, you know, a quicker style piece if you want. And there's this thing that we call the Keylilne. The reason why it's called the Keylilne is it's key to making things pop off that wall. You'll especially notice it once I actually outline the piece. It's just sort of much more of like a, you know, graph styling. But some people use it in like murals and stuff too. It almost makes your artwork look like a sticker that's on the wall, which can be like a really fun effect if you use it in a smart way. You can see now it sort of stands out, especially with that line around it. That's really what's going to make it, you know, pop off the wall. We're ready to start doing our fades, which is really going to bring some tone. So we got highlights and lowlights. It's going to make it have a little bit more of a 3D element to it. Next week, if you tune in, we're going to drop those fades, and then just after that, we'll do the outlines, and that's really when it's going to start coming to life. So if you want to check out that video, you can find it at the end here. And cheers for tuning in. I'll catch you on the next one.